ladies and gentlemen. It's a big, weird, wild world out there, folks, and here we stand. Al pie del cañón, ready for anything. I'm Rob, and you're listening to...
The ProBoh Show!
That's right, boys and girls. You're listening to the ProBoh Show on this beautiful Friday morning. Oh my God, guys, how you doing out there? It is 8:30 Central European Time, 2:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in Hong Kong, 2:30 in the afternoon. Oh my God. How you doing out there, folks? This is a podcast exclusive episode. So it's just for you, wonderful live audience, and the people, the amazing angelic beings who download the podcast daily. How are you doing, friends? More and more of you every single time. I was just saying before the show got started today that I have three times more listeners now than I did this time last year. In fact, as media starts to roll down in August, my insistence of keeping up with the show, I don't know, it's led to some exponential growth. And I just thank you guys for that, man. Thank you. It would not be possible without you. Neither the show nor its success. Okay, guys, what's coming up in today's show? Oh, I'm not lying. We've got a great one today. I asked 100 humans who wears white clothes. Who wears white clothes? An easy one today. Yesterday was incredibly difficult. So, nombra a alguien que viste o vista de blanco. Okay, name someone who wears white clothes. In today's Complete the News, we look at what happened to a Chicago TV news crew. And if we have time, which I kind of suspect we will, we'll look at why Lidl recalled some snacks from the shelves. Ooh, it's a good one. To recall is kind of take things off the shelf because you perceive some kind of, something untoward going on. And today's unpopular opinion, oh my God, friends, it is a good one. We've touched on this several times in the show, but I think this is the first time we're going to, really head-on tackle this issue. It is no amount of jealousy is good in a relationship. We've spoken about jealousy in the past, but we're gonna handle it head on today. Ningún tipo de celos o cantidad de celos es bueno en una relación.
¿Será posible? Vaya nivelazo.
How you doing? Pedro joining us. Pedro from Instagram, our legal correspondent. How you doing? All you guys joining us live, welcome. If you too want to join the show live, you can do that at 8:30 Central European Time every single day when we produce the show live in Madrid, the heart of Spain. How you doing? I know there's people all over Spain going, no, it's not. It's where I'm from is the heart of Spain. Albacete, Lepe, whatever. I'm a giri. I can say what I want. I'm a foreigner. Okay, so I'm here, friends. You're here. Let's see what's going on in the world. My God, do we have some good news today. First up, oh God, guys, we're running into the American political season now. We've already seen the Republican debates went on. And one character is going to start making appearance in the show. I'm from the center of Spain, says Min. Well, Madrid is actually in the center of Spain, more or less. In fact, in Sol, in the right here in the capital, right in the center, there is a little landmark that suggests that it is the very center of the country. I don't know how true that is. I've been told that it's not, but whatever. It's still a nice thing to see. So yeah, one character is going to be appearing in the news more and more. I'm going to try and dilute that as much as possible because, I don't like to get into politics. But yes, Donald Trump stuck his head out of the woodwork today. So here we go. This news coming from Raw Story. Trump wants to debate Meghan Markle and Prince Harry after the disrespect of the Queen. Look, Donald Trump recently refused to debate other Republican candidates for the Republican nomination for the President of the United States. He said, I'm not going to debate them. But he wants to. Does he know? Has anyone told Trump that Harry and Merkel are not running for president? Does he know that? Or does he think Just because Prince Harry is a member of the British royal family, that that they're going to be. I don't understand why he wants to do this. But anyway, let's get into this raw story article. Former President Donald Trump, although declining debates with his 2024 Republican primary challengers, expressed interest in debating Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. In a conversation with conservative Hugh Hewitt, Trump responded positively to the idea, saying he'd love to debate them, particularly after feeling that the couple showed disrespect to the Queen. He further commented about his good relationship with the Queen and questioned the Sussexes' actions and their reception of U.S. security. Meanwhile, Prince Harry and the Duchess have previously conveyed their personal issues with other royals and their positive feelings towards the Queen. Weird news. This might actually just be worth seeing for the nicknames. What would Donald Trump nickname Prince Harry? If he was actually a Republican candidate. Hollywood Harry. The Duke of Drama. Megxit Meghan. Jeez Louise, friends. So we are living in the darkest timeline, it's true. Min says, brave move of him to debate people who actually understand international politics. Yeah, true. Let's see, Corporate Alligator's joining us in the chat. How are you doing? Okay, so there you go. Yeah, Trump reacting positively there towards a debate with Meghan Markle and Hollywood Harry. Trump, if you're out there listening, Donald Trump, I have a gift for these nicknames, man. If you pay well, which you don't, but if you did, I'm here. You just tap me, I'm there. The Duke of Drama. Okay, next piece of news. This coming from CBC Radio Canada. Interesting article, actually. Greenpeace opposes nuclear energy. However, young climate activists say that that's old-fashioned. Interesting, right? If you're from my generation, we've almost kind of grown to believe that nuclear energy is taboo, right? But if you actually read up on nuclear energy, it does seem quite safe. I know we've inherited this memory of the Chernobyl disaster, Fukushima. So Greenpeace se opone a la energía nuclear. Los jóvenes activistas del clima dicen que es anticuado. So young European activists are urging Greenpeace to reconsider its opposition to nuclear energy, labeling the stance old-fashioned. How do you feel about that? Is that a... Or is it a... What do you think? Okay, so here we go. The Dear Greenpeace campaign, led by activists from 5 EU countries and funded by the non-profit Red Planet, believes nuclear energy is essential in battling climate change. However, Greenpeace views nuclear power as too risky, costly, and less efficient than renewable resources like wind and solar. The heart of the controversy is whether nuclear energy should be part of the EU's sustainable finance classification. While the younger generation sees nuclear energy as a viable solution to meet future energy needs, critics argue the associated risks and costs outweigh the benefits, emphasizing the potential of renewables. I am so in the middle of this debate. Call it ignorance on my part if you wish. I do exist in some kind of a grey area when it comes to nuclear energy. Because I do obviously have memories of the Fukushima argument. In fact, we mentioned it a few days ago, or maybe a week ago, when talking about the Japanese PM eating sushi from the Fukushima area. Weird publicity stunt. I don't know. Most of us, I guess, have seen Chernobyl, the dramatization of the events that happened there in the Chernobyl disaster. However, it is It is safe if run properly. This is the thing, but can we trust our own worst instincts of humanity to actually run a power plant in a way where there won't be future problems? How do we dispose of that nuclear waste? I mean, there are a lot of questions there unanswered. It certainly is risky in my mind, but it's hard to deny that it is a great option for the energy future. But then you look at renewable energy, right? I mean, unlike the aforementioned Donald Trump, I don't believe that wind turbines are causing cancer. They're causing cancer. No, they're not. And solar energy is obviously wind and solar are just becoming really, really prevalent in today's modern age, and bit by bit we are relying more and more heavily on that. Is there any real need to make the transition, or to even or double down on nuclear power? It certainly would have been handy, right, during the energy crisis we're experiencing a little while ago. Let's see. Rob, I like you are still considering this issue, but we must look into it, says the bridge. Yeah, I'm certainly no expert on nuclear power. I'm no expert on renewable energy. I'm no expert on either of these things. I, like you, I'm just, read the news and try and stay up to date on this issue. And again, like with most news outlets, what you're getting on this show is opinion, all right? Not fact, opinion, because it's filtered through me. Okay. All right. Anyway, let's continue. Pedro says, wind and solar are not the answer to climate change. They're unsustainable and not always available. That may change when green hydrogen becomes feasible. From a cost perspective. Wow. Dropping some knowledge there.
Será posible. Vaya nivelazo.
We should not close any options. I think, though... Wow, Bridge, I can't read what you're writing there. Think though them all. Think through them all. My God, that was my fault. My bad. Min says the main danger is that it's a good target if you get into a war. But we see in Ukraine that both sides are messing with them. So also be very careful about it. It's also a really interesting point. Yeah, if you're in a military conflict, doesn't targeting a nuclear power plant seem like a feasible target to destroy the infrastructure of the area that relies on that? And not only that, just cause massive damage to the land for generations afterwards, as certainly has been the case in Chernobyl. Pedro continues, nuclear is zero emissions and consistent, stable and reliable. We are not in the Soviet Union using 80s technology, says Pedro. Ooh. The bridge says, here in Cantabria, on the coast, an option have always been tide mills. Yeah, tidal energy is maybe something we should be considering in the future too. Pedro knows a lot about nuclear energy. One day, my friend, I'm going to pick your brains, or maybe even have you on the show. I would love to get our legal correspondent in the studio with me one day. Let's see if I can convince him. All right, and final piece of news. You're going to ask yourself, why wasn't this in Complete the News? Because this week's Complete the News has been an embarrassment of riches. So many embarrassing stories and weird news stories. This would have made it in if the other two today weren't so great. Here we go. Ritual mass murder. You're saying, this isn't funny. Ritual mass murder report in Chapel St Leonards, which is in Lincolnshire in England. A ritual mass murder report in Chapel St Leonards. But it was a yoga class. Oh, this makes every little single bone in my body happy. El informe sobre el asesinato ritual en masa in Chapel St Leonards era una clase de yoga. A yoga class in Chapel St Leonards, Lincolnshire, was mistaken for a ritual mass murder when passers-by saw participants laying on the floor during a relaxation exercise and reported it to the police. 5 police cars arrived. Just imagine that. 5 police cars arrived at the North Sea Observatory where the class was being held. Yoga teacher Millie Laws described the scene as dark, with just candles lighting the room, while the students lay under blankets and she walked around playing a drum. The cafe hosting the class and the Lincolnshire police confirmed that everything was fine and the call was made out of genuine concern. So if you're in Lincolnshire, you're planning a romantic dinner, buying candles. Be careful. Maybe you're involved in some ritualistic cult. I heard the headboard drumming against the wall, police officer. There's murder going on in there. Oh my God. Pedro says, I can be there, but only if we match haircuts and beards. I've got a feeling that's not a problem, Pedro. Even with bad Soviet Union technology, there still was a slew of human errors as well to make Chernobyl happen. Also true. Min, how do you even confuse them? True story. Like a ritual mass murder with yoga. Although I can kind of see it. My lizard brain just tingles when I picture it. You know, you see a lot of people lying on the floor and someone just in a candlelit room banging a drum. Yoga. Mass murder for doing the downward dog, says Corporate Alligator. Love it. So weird, man. We live in the darkest timeline, friends. They say yoga's like a really great exercise. I still don't get that. For me, exercise is about, increasing your heart rate and things. Certain amount of cardiovascular activity. Don't even get me started on face yoga. I know Andrea's not going to like that, but come on. My face is permanently set to downward dog. Have you even heard of face yoga? It's supposed to make your face look younger. See, I'm British, so I show no outward emotion. Therefore, I have no wrinkles. Win-win. All right, friends. Let's move on to today's unpopular opinion.
Unpopular opinion.
Oh my God, friends. Unpopular opinion time. It's the time of day where I offer you my daily brain fart. Mi pedo cerebral. Mi pedo mental. Mi rayada. For our Spanish listeners. Yeah, I share this with you on my Instagram. Today's was incredibly popular. I share it with you on my Instagram. But the real people who really make the decision here are the wonderful people joining me live. Corporate Alligator, Min, Pedro, The Bridge, who else? There's a lot of you out there today. Corporate Alligator, I said, The Bridge, Vero, oh my God, a lot of you. So here we go, and I want your opinions on this. Today's unpopular opinion is no amount of jealousy, celos, ningún cantidad, no amount of jealousy is good in a relationship. Meaning, ideally, zero jealousy is where we should be aiming for when in a romantic relationship, or even a friendship or anything like that. So let's get into this. I thoroughly tortured the poor elves this morning, and they gave me some pros and cons. Here we go. In the pro column, jealousy can erode trust. If partners are consistently doubting each other, it becomes challenging to build a secure foundation in the relationship. True story. Emotional drain. Constant jealousy can cause emotional fatigue. Being on the receiving end of jealous behaviors or consistently feeling jealous can be mentally exhausting. True story. I'm not a jealous person, but I lived with a jealous person who went on to cheat on me. So it was just exhausting and then hurtful and then exhausting again. Okay, let's continue. Stifles personal growth. Jealousy can limit the growth of individuals in the relationship. They may avoid pursuing personal interests or friendships to prevent inciting jealousy in their partner. God, I have been there, and true story. You're going to get... oh no, you're not going to get...
That gets the ProBoh stamp of approval.
Yeah. You wouldn't... If you're watching the show live, I stretch my arm out. And sound effects happens. What I'm actually doing there is I'm slapping a little elf with a microphone. and they're the ones who do the sound effects live. So there you go. Yeah, and it's true. I was in that situation in a very jealous relationship. And again, the person went on to cheat on me. But through the first years of that relationship, I experienced like every move I made was under a microscope. And yeah, and I turned down events. I turned down potential money earning opportunities, all sorts of things professional and personal, just so as not to incite any more jealousy in that person. And oh my God, it was exhausting. Here we go. Finally, in the pro column, it creates conflict. Jealous behaviors and accusations can lead to frequent arguments and misunderstandings, destabilizing the relationship. All very true points, I think. Let's see what people are saying here. Agreed, says the bridge. Good morning, beautiful people. How are you doing, Alone Strong? Jealousy denotes a problem, says the bridge. Vero says, true, any kind of jealousy can destroy relationships, friends, lovers, families. Jealousy and suspicion always appear when there's not enough trust.
That gets the ProBoh stamp of approval.
Okay, let's continue. That phrase rings a bell. Let's see. Pedro says, I totally agree with this unpopular opinion. I personally suffered this and it almost ruined my relationship. Luckily, we overcame it. And I was accused of not having a bit of jealousy. Yeah, I'm not a jealous person, and to be honest, I have every right to be. Okay, let's see. Let's continue on with this. With this point. So in the con column, the elves give us this. Shows investment. Okay, a minor fleeting feeling of jealousy. Remember, the unpopular opinion is no amount of jealousy. So a minor fleeting feeling of jealousy might indicate that partners care about each other and are emotionally invested in the relationship. Occasional jealousy can serve as a trigger for couples to communicate their feelings, fears, and desires more openly. It's hard to disagree with that, right? Because even a fleeting feeling of jealousy gives you the insight, that uncomfortable feeling gives you the insight then to better communicate later your feelings. Do you know what I mean? Without that initial trigger, then how are you supposed to know that there's a problem? And I'm not saying that the jealousy trigger is because there's a problem with the other person or their behavior, but the way that makes you feel. Again, we're in this society, we seem to be moving towards the arena where our negative feelings are just, all in all bad or useless, and that's just not the case. Quite often they're signals, they're signposts to where we need to make change in our lives. Let's continue. Addressing and overcoming small bouts of jealousy can lead to moments where partners reaffirm their love and commitment to one another. Again, another true point. And finally, evolutionary perspective. Some argue, and I have actually read the abstract of this scientific journal. Some argue that from an evolutionary standpoint, jealousy acted as a mechanism to ensure mate retention. However, but in contemporary settings, it might act as a signal to partners to nurture their relationship. Okay, there you go. There you have it, friends. Jealousy. Those are your pros and cons. Let's continue. Let's read some more of the chat. I was accused of not having a bit of jealousy, which meant I didn't care, says Pedro. I can completely identify with that. I have heard the exact same thing. Again, Pedro from Instagram being my twin, my brother from another mother. Yeah, I too have been accused of that. If you really cared, you'd be a little jealous. I actually was in a relationship where the person I later found out was actively trying to make me jealous to see if I cared about them. Those kind of games are not healthy in a relationship, and I think that's why we label jealousy as such a bad emotion. Now, let's continue. Jealousy is a common emotion that can arise in any relationship. While a little jealousy can be healthy, even motivating, too much jealousy can be destructive and lead to mistrust, insecurity, and anxiety. Alone strong. Wow.
That gets the ProBoh stamp of approval.
Thank you, deep-voiced elf. Pedro says, the genesis of jealousy is always a trust and self-esteem problem with the jealous person. It rarely can be associated with the behavior of the victim of the jealousy. Yeah, true story. As someone who suffered jealousy, I can attest to that. My God, but this is a complex issue that we will come back to in the next part of the show. But what can I leave you with before we go into this? I would leave you with this, right? It's all about as Alone Strong said there, for me, this issue is all about how the individual handles their own jealousy and how it can become a destructive force. But here the argument is that no amount of jealousy is good. And can that be true? Can that be true? If you feel zero jealousy, are you really invested in the relationship? A healthy amount of jealousy can often point us towards our own insecurities, and maybe that is for the net positive. I will leave you with that thought, guys, before we go into the poll. Guys, thank you so much for showing up. So many things you could have been doing today. Instead of doing those things, you took the time to spend some time with me, and it means the world. I'll see you in a few minutes. Hey, guys, if you'd like to support the show, you can do so on Patreon. That's patreon.com/professional bohemian. There you'll find VODs of the episodes as they are recorded live, blogs, vlogs, and behind-the-scenes content. If you'd like to watch the show live, you can do so on twitch.tv/professional bohemian, and you can participate in the polls we use in the show on Instagram @professional bohemian or Twitter @ProBoh, ProBoh. Okay, on with the show.
The ProBoh Show!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show, this podcast exclusive episode. Thank you, my friends. Again, if you want to check out any of the links and the material that I use in the show, I post that every single day. Not just the links, I also post a little brief outline of each news article, so you don't have to deep dive everything. Guys, and you can find all that, by the way, on my Patreon. All right, my friends, look, it's been a wild ride. Today, so far, we've learned that Trump wants to debate Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Hollywood Harry, the Duke of Drama. and Greenpeace, while opposing nuclear energy, apparently young climate activists in Europe are saying that might be a little old-fashioned. And we actually had quite a bit of a schooling there from Pedro. One of our live audience right now. Interesting. I do need to read up more on the dangers and safety of nuclear energy. What I've found when I have done my own little bit of independent research is you have very strong feelings on either side, and it tends to be a very black and white answer. And as we all know, friends, in reality, life is a lot more shade of grey than it is black and white. So it's hard to hard to pick about the truth if you're an average person like you and I, to know what is real and what is just propaganda, right? And then finally, we looked at a really weird news story from Chapel St Leonards, where a yoga class was mistaken for a ritual mass murder. Oh God, elves, chill out, man. Yeah, I don't know. Something about that news story makes my heart happy. And then we moved on to today's unpopular opinion. A fascinating one actually today about jealousy, the nature of jealousy. The unpopular opinion was that no amount of jealousy is good in a relationship. Interesting. So I made that statement as dry as it sounds on Instagram, and they said 95% true. Is there a little naivete in that? Instagram being the home of the self-help soundbite, being in denial of every negative emotion, having some kind of a positive use, which is something I've argued for God knows how many times in the chat, right, or in our show. I'm constantly saying that, no, look, anger is a good indicator of a need for change, sadness is equally as important as happiness. All those kind of topics we've covered in the past. Is jealousy, can we include jealousy in that list? It's interesting. Let's move on. Let's take a quick look. I do have some comments here from Instagram, but I want to focus in more heavily on our chat here, where we have some great opinions. Min says, yeah, I think a little jealousy doesn't have to be bad. It depends on how you act. But I'd say a little jealousy can remind you of what you have and what you don't want to lose in your partner. Once it starts getting in the way of trust, it becomes a problem.
That gets the ProBoh stamp of approval.
Vero also says, to me, if there's no jealousy, there's no commitment. Okay, so let's break this down. Let's not be as naive as those people on Instagram, as black and white, right? For me, and later I'm going to get into corporate alligators, written something really fascinating, and it kind of mirrors where I was at, where my thinking was at after getting out of a very controlling relationship. What is jealousy? I mean, if you're gonna kind of identify it as anything, the root cause of jealousy is exactly what Min says, right? A fear of losing something that's important to you. Okay? If you're not experiencing that fear at any point, are you really committed to that relationship? Whether it be a friendship or a romantic relationship, is jealousy really a bad thing? I think it's the way we react towards that jealousy. How in control we are of our emotions. Are we able to step back from that feeling and analyze it and break it down? Because jealousy quite often can be a really great motivator for communication. Now, having said that, I'm going to get into what Corporate Alligator says here, which I think is completely valid. I think any amount of jealousy is unacceptable. There's a difference between being invested and having your relationship boundaries respected and being jealous. I've only ever seen or experienced jealousy as a symptom of the expectation that a person should be allowed to control who the other person interacts with. I mean, yeah, an amazing point. An amazing and true point, because I've experienced the exact same thing over a period of 2 years. My life was miserable. I'm not a controlling person. I don't like to be controlled, but I found myself through repeated accusations and just having my life being made an absolute misery, changing how I interacted and who I interacted with, just because of the controlling nature of my partner. Then he continues, he says, that being said, being jealous when your relationship boundaries aren't respected is more than understandable, but that's a serious, separate issue as well. Wow. Corporate Alligator.
That gets the ProBoh stamp of approval.
Amazing insight there. So is that the key? Is the key having boundaries and having those boundaries respected? Is this something you speak about at the beginning of a relationship? Look, this is where I'm at. Like, especially for someone like me, whose best friend is actually, like my best friend I was in a relationship with for 5 years. Okay? And Andrea is like a sister to me now. If I was ever in a relationship and that partner had a problem with that relationship, the choice has already been made. And I lay that boundary down very quickly at the beginning of a relationship. If you don't like this friendship, then this relationship is not going to work out between you and I. Sounds harsh, but those are my boundaries. When those boundaries aren't respected, or further on down the line, it turns out that was an issue in the beginning, well, that is something to talk about. So is this an issue that could be cleared up in the beginning of a relationship? Is jealousy, when handled correctly, a great way or a great insight into our own feelings to initiate further conversation about your own insecurities, or to initiate a further talk about that person's boundaries? Because our boundaries as a human being can shift. We've spoken about our own moral ambiguity in the past and how situational our morals are, right? We all agree that lying is wrong. However, when it comes to telling kids about Santa Claus, we seem to forget that that our morals tend to be a lot more flexible and a lot more situational than we might think. And I believe jealousy might be a symptom of that. So there you go, friends. It is a very black and white issue, and which is one of the reasons I found this quite disturbing when 95% of the people voted true, saying that no amount of jealousy is acceptable. All that tells me is that we have a bunch of people out there that are not in control of their emotions. Their emotions are in control of them. And I think that is the key, right? being able to separate yourself from those strong and powerful emotions that might be rolling and rattling around your head, that little voice that keeps on insisting something, without properly analyzing the root cause of that little voice. Perhaps it does lead to destruction in a relationship. The bridge says here, that is what I can't understand about jealousy. It smells too much like controlling. Corporate Alligator, have I ever felt true love? Because the only time I felt jealous is people making more money for doing nothing. This is another great point here, Corporate Alligator, worth discussing. Is jealousy a symptom of love? And without feeling certain pangs of jealousy at certain times, can love exist? I would say, yeah. I've been in love without experiencing jealousy. I mean, then, and in those occasions where I have, each and every time I've been cheated on. So how do I maintain not being a jealous person? It's interesting. I don't even know how I do it myself. I guess I have this ability, as many of you do out there, to separate myself from the situation and from my own feelings and analyze why that takes place. So there we go. There's our unpopular opinion that no amount of jealousy is good in a relationship. So let's break this down. Let's see what the people, our live audience, said in the chat, because it is a fascinating result. Remember, 95% of people said true on Instagram. What did our live audience say? 60% true. Which I think is a little more healthy, right? Kind of making black and white. I mean, I know the nature of these unpopular opinions is to generate a black and white answer. A little bit like how Rotten Tomatoes measures movies, either rotten or fresh, when in reality, we probably all hover in the middle, right? A movie is very rarely life-changing. It's usually good. I wouldn't call it a bad movie, but it was good. It wasn't brilliant. And this is how good movies can earn a fresh rating, even though they're not that great. So yeah, interesting topic. Bridge here says, love without jealousy is trust, Rob. Okay, interesting. Great, some great debate here. I think I'll leave you with this feeling. If you were in a situation right now with a partner who's controlling, I wouldn't say that is. I would say that is probably due to jealousy, but not caused by jealousy. Does that make any sense? It's due to jealousy, but not caused by the jealousy. Usually, controlling behavior in a partner comes from a deep sense or deep-seated insecurity within that person, and that person is going to see red flags where red flags don't really appear, or wouldn't appear in another kind of relationship. Anxiety, insecurity, that's the enemy here. But putting the blame on a feeling, when a feeling can also be a really positive route of change, I think may not be the most healthiest thing to do. But again, guys, that's just my opinion. And as Grandpa Bo used to say, opinions are like buttholes, friends. Everybody has one, and they all stink. And that includes mine. 60% true. I think that's a pretty healthy way to look at it. I have been in controlling, jealous relationships, and it was a nightmare. You know, it was a nightmare. So if you're suffering that right now, I do sympathize. You need to have some long, tough conversations with yourself and with your partner, because maybe that's a situation you need to get out of. All right, guys, with all that said, all that seriousness over and done with, let's get into today's 100 Humans. Oh my God, friends, it was a long walk to work today across snow-capped mountains and through river valleys, and on that walk I encountered 100 humans, and I asked them all a question. Today's question was, name someone who wears white clothes. Name someone who wears white clothes. I asked them that question. They gave me their answers. I'm in possession of the top 7 answers right now. Your job in the chat is to identify those top 7 answers. Name someone who wears white clothes. Nombra a alguien que vista de blanco. Woo! All right. Vero has an answer. Look at that. Vero kicking us off today with a bride. A bride. Does a bride wear white clothes? She certainly does. But what did the 100 humans say? Well done, Vero. That's what they say. They say, well done, Vero. It is, in fact, the number 3 answer with 8 of 100 humans saying a bride. Alone Strong says a nurse. A nurse. Is nurse there? Well done, Alone Strong. It is there. And Alone Strong with 45 of the 100 humans saying nurse. It's the number 1 answer. Nice. Well done. Well done. Okay, we also have doctor. Is doctor there? Yes, it is. Alone Strong on fire today with the number 2 answer, doctor. Wow. You're killing it today. Okay, you guys have identified the top 3. The next 4, probably a little harder to identify. Teacher. Teacher. Is teacher there? I suppose a chemistry teacher, right? Might. Well, it's not there. Sorry. Okay, Corporate Alligator says a cult. A cult. Is a cult there? Sorry. 100 humans. Stop it. There you go. It's not there. My bad. My bad. The elves are on fire today. They just want to celebrate. It's Friday. So cult is not there. My bad. Okay, Vero says a Wimbledon player, a tennis player. Great answer. Is a tennis player there? Wimbledon player? No. It's not, but it's a great answer. Pro fencing people. So a fencer, says Corporate Alligator. A fencer. It's not there, sorry. It's a great answer, though. A fencer. Alone Strong says a priest. A priest. Is a priest there? It's not there. I'm going to give you some clues. Okay, the least popular answer is someone who sells a popular food substance in the summer. You wouldn't eat this kind of food in the summer, in the winter, sorry, or in the autumn, maybe in the spring. But someone who would sell a particular kind of summer food. It's a dairy food. Comes in various flavors. Okay, while you're thinking on that, I'll continue reading the chat. Chef. Is chef there? Alon Strong says chef. Is it there? Yes, it is. Well done. It's actually the 4th most popular answer with 6 of the 100 humans saying chef. Vero says an ice cream vendor. An ice cream vendor. You've seen them in the movies. Is an ice cream vendor there? Yes, it is. I love the look of those old-timey ice cream vendors with the hat and the white things. Come on. All right. Corporate Alligator says a scientist. Is scientist there? No, it's not. Jeez Louise, it's a great answer, but it's not there. I think our live audience is too good. They're too intelligent for the 100 humans today. Okay, next one. Next one is someone who you would hire. Okay, this can be 2 things, and I think both would wear white. In one case, it would be white overalls is the name of the item of clothing. And you would hire them if you wanted to give your apartment or house a different look. Perhaps you'd want to change the colour of the walls. God, this is so easy. Are my clues getting too predictable and too easy? I think they might be. So who would you hire if you wanted to give the inside of your home or office a little a different look? Who would you hire? Or maybe if you see in the background, I have an easel there. Who would use that? Easel being a caballete, I think, in Spanish. Okay, Vero says a painter. Is painter there? Yes, it is. It's there. 6th most popular answer with 2 of 100 humans. You just have one more left. All right, let's do this, friends. One more left. No one enjoys visiting this person. No one enjoys visiting this person. You have to, otherwise you find it hard to chew. Masticar. No one enjoys visiting this person. I think the noise of their tools puts most people off. It can be painful to go there. But who is it? Who is it? A member of the medical field. Corporate Alligator says a cleaner. Cleaner's not there. Wow, you know who's on fire recently? It's Vero. Corporate Alligator and Vero both say a dentist. Is dentist there? Yes, it is. Yes, it is, friends. All right, there you go. You've identified all the 100 humans' answers. Let's go through the list. All right, so I asked 100 humans to name someone who wears white clothes. In position number 7, we had an ice cream vendor. So someone who sells ice cream, not gelato. Gelato is hipster ice cream, or for Italians. Italy, the Florida of Europe. Okay, anyway, let's continue. So, an ice cream vendor. Vendedor de helados, would you say? All right. In position number 6, we had a painter, un pintor. A painter. In position number 5. What's wrong with the 100 humans today? In position number... No, okay. They don't want to play. In position number 5, we had dentist, dentista. In position number 4... Okay, no, they're either too keen or they don't want to work. In position number 4, we had a chef or cocinero, I think you'd say in Spanish. In position number 3, we had a bride, a novia, bride with how many? 8 of 100 humans saying bride. In position number 2, we had a doctor with 27 of 100 humans. And finally, in position number 1, we had nurse with 45 of 100 humans. Well done, guys. Jeez Louise. 100 humans going nuts today with the answers. Who was it who got nurse? I think it was Alone Strong, right? Well done, Alone Strong, to you. Congratulations. All right, let's go into today's Complete the News.
Complete the news.
Heladero, says Vero. Thank you.
¿Será posible? Vaya nivelazo.
Heladero, there you go. Always learning, friends. Okay, in Complete the News, I'm going to give you a news headline with some information missing. Your job in the chat is to identify that missing piece of information from the options I give you, A, B, or C. If you're one of the many people watching the show live, you can, but you haven't actually up to this point participated, this is your moment, because all you have to write is A, B, or C. Here we go. A Chicago TV news crew is robbed at gunpoint while blank. A Chicago TV news crew is robbed at gunpoint while blank. Un equipo de noticias de televisión de Chicago robada a punta de pistola mientras blank. Okay, so a Chicago TV news crew robbed at gunpoint while, is it A, producing a live segment inside a police station? Is it B, reporting on a string of robberies? Or is it C, filming a segment on the decline of street crime? A, B, or C? A punta de pistola, at gunpoint. So a Chicago TV news crew is robbed at gunpoint while, is it A, producing a segment inside of a police station? Is it B, while reporting on a string of robberies? Or C, while filming a section on the decline of street crime? A, B, or C? What do you think? It's a good one. Okay, I see A is in the lead in the chat, producing a live segment inside a police station. All right, let's see if you're right. The answer is B, reporting on a string of robberies. The embarrassment. I know A and C are such good answers. Data came in right at the end there with a C, so I fooled you. So this coming from where? Coming from Chicago TV News, no, APnews.net. So the Associated Press here, while reporting on a series of robberies in Chicago West Town neighborhood, a Univision Chicago TV news crew was ironically robbed at gunpoint by 3 men wearing ski masks. The thieves took personal items and the crew's camera, which contained footage intended for a morning news segment. Fortunately, no one was injured, but no suspects have been apprehended. Do you think it was the robbers who they were reporting on that robbed them? That would be, oh, jeez Louise. Thank God no one was hurt, right? Okay, let's move on to the next one. Again, A, B, or C. Lidl recalls Paw Patrol snacks after a website on the packaging displayed blank. Paw Patrol, you know that. That's a kids' TV show, okay, for very young children. So, Lidl retira. Lidl recall Paw Patrol snacks. Snacks de Paw Patrol. Después de que la página web de mostrará blank. Or something like that. Sorry, my Spanish is a little rusty today. So Lidl recalls Paw Patrol snacks after a website on the packaging displayed. Is it A, pornography, B, genital piercings, or C, singles in your area? My bad, hot singles in your area. So Lidl recalls Paw Patrol. You know Paw Patrol, right? You've seen them. I have goddaughters whenever I go. They're watching Paw Patrol. In my heart, I want it to be B, says Datu.
That gets the ProBoh stamp of approval.
I see C in the chat as well. Hot singles in your area. So there you go. Lidl recalls Paw Patrol snacks after the website. After a website on the packaging displayed, is it A, pornography, B, genital piercings, or C, hot singles in your area? Seems to be that C is in the lead. But what is the actual answer? Here we go. The answer is A, pornography. Sorry, guys. I got you today. I fooled you all today. Okay, so yeah, it's true. Lidl recalls Paw Patrol snacks after the website on the packaging displayed pornography. This is coming from TechCrunch. Lidl supermarket has recalled its Paw Patrol snacks because the website address printed on the packaging started showing inappropriate content. This recall affects the Paw Patrol Yummy Bakes and Mini Biscotti products. Let's see. Although the specific reason isn't clear, it appears the website domain lapsed and began showing explicit content, meaning pornography. There you go. Oh my God, friends, what a show we have had for you today. It has been incredible. And we've looked at so many things from not only Paw Patrol displaying pornography or the Chicago TV news team, we also did a real deep dive into jealousy in relationships. Interesting, fascinating discussion there, guys. Thank you. And we also looked at Trump wanting to debate Meghan Markle, Mexit Meghan, and the Duke of Drama, Hollywood Harry. Just saying, Trump, if you need help with nicknames, I'm right here. We looked at how young climate activists are asking Greenpeace to reconsider its opposition to nuclear energy. And finally, that weird news from Chapel St Leonards, where a yoga class was mistaken for a ritual mass murder. All right, my friends, it's been a hell of a show. So many things you could have been doing this morning. But instead of doing those things, you decided to take the time to spend some time with me, and it means the absolute world. Friends, I will see you again on Monday. Thanks for being here.